Hello, my name is Joseph Flack. I'm going to be going through the work that I completed in this past milestone. All right, so let's just get right into that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so mine is the spell tower level.
Huh.
I wanted to start it off in a little rest area here. All right, just snap back, just get an overview of the rest area. Okay. And I had an issue with the meshes for the like wall sconce assets. So those are supposed to be there, and they're supposed to just be lights, but get the general idea of the lighting I was going for. I wanted to follow every rest area with a optional combat section. So yeah, I could engage in this combat if I wanted to. Or I could just go right on up here. But I'm gonna go ahead and get some. I'm choosing violence today. And the thought of having the optional combats, follow that. So one of our reference games kind of does that. Always follows the periods of rest with some combat, and it's just good for that flow of user engagement. Don't want them too overwhelmed, but also don't want to have them bored. So after that, after each rest area, or optional combat rather, there's going to be, as you see, something that has to do with the main mechanic of the level, which is this, the spell tower. Spell tower was what I created and designed this level to showcase. So as you see, it has an indication that, hey, I'm tracking you. This is where I'm aiming at. If I step out of its bounds, it will go ahead and stop tracking to let me know, hey, I'm not tracking you. And then on a 5-second timer, it will shoot at the player. Now, as of right now, it's getting the general idea of what I wanted, but I actually wanted the projectiles to be homing, but I way overscoped for this milestone, and that was something that I decided could be cut and to be addressed later. So, they're still shooting in the general direction to give you the vibe of what I'm going for, but I do want them to move a little slower and be homing projectiles to keep the player moving. That was the whole idea behind this spell tower, was to have something that encourages the player to move, because through some play testings with family and friends, I noticed that they tend to hole up in corners and, hold their shield here. And the homing projectile was something that I wanted to be able to counteract that. Right. And we have another optional combat area here. It's technically a rest area, but I did want to include the mage here just as a little nod to some of my previous work, and because I wanted to feature every enemy type in this level, but I wanted a way to introduce a couple of the ranged enemies by themselves before they are encountered at the end of the level. Because this is the first level that anyone would touch at this point in the build, so I want there to be a way to introduce them to that enemy, rather. And a little hazard just to keep things, keep things going and not bore the player with a bunch of travel for no reason. So if, again, this is one of these optional areas, if I want to grab this loot, well, I gotta fight for it. Or not. Or I could just go over here. So, reaching the end of this entire level is going to be how you beat the level. It's how you win, it's how you move on. But if you are to die, You can either restart or quit because we had a life here, 1 life when we started, and we have 0. So I can go on, which I'm going to. I'm for sure going to restart. But if I die again, that's it. That'll be a loss. All right, and I'm back. So again, introducing some of the work that some of the team has worked on. I do want to put as much of it as I can in my level. Everyone worked hard. I want to show that off. So including some hazards. Again, there's another like floor sconce here that has a flame in it that produces this light. But you get the idea. So for this stage of the spell, I want to have them practice with it a bit. So you'll be avoiding these as well as the hazards. Don't travel backwards. It could be devastating for you. As we just seen, I'm out of lives. I will have to find you all back at that spot again. Be right back. All right, so back again. So yeah, the idea was just to have the player really get reinforced here that I have to keep moving when I see these towers. So we have the delayed spikes. You know, you can't lollygag around or the spikes will catch up. And of course you'll get hit by the towers themselves. And in the middle is the alternating spikes there to keep things interesting. So it would make more sense to me. I wish I would have put something over in this corner to entice the player to actually come that direction instead of what I have been seeing, which is a lot of beelines that are timed well enough to miss this. But then you get hung up here in between a rock and a hard place. And here we have another rest area, another projectile enemy type. Those particularly I set there because that past section there I have seen some difficulty in playtests, and there is health down here, but the archer's projectiles can actually destroy the health. So just to give it a little more challenge there. And here we are in the mastery room where we have everything going on.
Hey, you with the face.
We have our towers. This time they're the towers are defending quadrants of the room. So each of the 4 corners has a tower in it, and we have some ranged enemies. So this is kind of bullet hell-esque. You definitely want to keep moving in this room. And I'm hoping, you know, if you've made it this far, you realize that movement is important. This will reinforce that. It'll give you a chance to prove how important you really see movement in this game, or at least with these mechanics on this level. So, going through, just have to defeat everyone, and we shall. Let's go ahead and use some of these abilities. And there we go. That something is triggering that door. Something we definitely look into. What? We have our win condition of passing the level. So that is what I worked on this milestone. So stick around and check out what Fink has going on.
Hey everybody, what is up? My name is Daniel Fink. I am a level designer and programmer with Team Ragamuffin. And today we're going to be going over our sprint review, or at least my issues in the sprint review. My stories. So the first one is, as the atrocity dungeon, I want to immerse the player in a dark, mysterious encounter with clearly definable begin and win locations, while introducing the player to an alternative enemy that the player avatar will encounter. Okay. So, completion criteria is, as the valve gate doors, I want to block the player's access from traversing the level backward and forward until the enemy's in an area are eliminated. Okay. As the enemy spider, I want to exist in the level so I can find and interact with that player avatar. The player will have rest area with hazards between rooms. As a level loose condition, I want to have the player die and restart the playable instance. And as the player win condition, I want to alert the player they have conquered the level and will be teleported to the next encounter. Alright. So let's flip screens over. Okay. This is Perforce. Our Windows No Editor. EXE. Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
Alright. So first off, we do have a clear start area. So we have that part checked off. Come in here. We are stuck in this room. And we also have the as an enemy spider, I want to exist in the level. Okay. And as the spiders die, that was the gate for it to open. So we'd both have the valve and gate door. Because it valves me off and gates me off. Got a little bit of traps here. Okay. So I would say that this would be an area of rest between. Okay, so this is the instance between the rooms where there's an area of rest, but there are some hazards. So that checks that one out. So the one that we're waiting on now is to see if this valves me off when I pass it. And then the win condition. So that'd be the first story for myself for the Atrocity Dungeon checked. So look, it valves me off. Spiders come in. Which, with the of editing, we probably have some speed up video through this editor. So this is done. Okay. This is a valve and a gate. So yet again, reiterating the... Gosh, my finger keeps slipping off, guys. I'm sorry. I can't feel my fingers due to injury, so... So this is yet another area of rest with hazards in between, because there are no enemies. Now the one thing we're waiting on is the win condition. Okay. The camera. Alright.
Boss fight.
So the spiders. Oh, well, yeah, this one. Grab the footage from this one. And as I killed the last spider, there was a visual and audible cue that I have won. The gate is open, and if I want, I can go through the gate. Congratulations, you completed this level. How about you try another? So there goes my win condition. Now I'm going to credits, Yep, you've conquered. Continue. Okay. Alright, so let's swap back to my Jira. Alright, so we had Valve in-gate doors block players' access from traversing the level until all the enemies are eliminated. Yep, gotcha. As the enemy spotter won't exist and interact with the player avatar. That was in there. The player will have restrooms and hazards in between. So I'm going to test the level loose condition and the wing condition when I test out the wing condition's there. I'm going to test out the loose condition when I go test out the spiders. So as the enemy spider, I want to exist in the level so I can find and interact with the player avatar. Okay, so it's its own story. The spider wants to have a mesh to distinguish me from other enemies. I want to be able to move around the playable space. I want to be able to attack the players when I am near him or her. I want to have a health bar. I want to have a hit reaction. I want to have a death animation. I want to have an attack animation. As the enemy spider, if this attack is successful, I want the player's movement to be slowed. And then as a colossal spider, I want to exist in the level and engage, chase, and attack the player's avatar. I will do significantly more damage per second and normal spiders and have more health than normal spiders. Alright. So let's swap over back to the game. Select. There we go. Alright, so if they successfully attack me, I can move slow. And look, I'm sped up now. I can move faster. And they do have a distinguishable mesh. They move around the playable space. They do attack when they are near me. They do have an attack animation. They have a death animation. Okay. Which could also be the hit animation too for the small spiders. So let's go ahead and actually, they did have a health bar. It was split second, but I have another, instance of where I can show the, I can show the animation. So, and we are going to test out that loose condition right at the end. So we're going to try to speed run past these here real quick so I can test out the rest. So these only do about 2 health. Not really much. Really took a hit on that one. But again, through the miracle of speed up, I'd probably have someone speed up this section and get through. Okay, because so
Boss fight.
Spider, I want to exist in the level. They do have a hit animation, so when I hit them, so I do. Okay, so the other ones did. We're gonna check the double damage here. Let me see if I can kill a couple of these. See, the health bars did show up on the little ones. It's just they only They take one hit to kill them, so. Oh, they only do, the small ones only do 1 damage. So they do have a hit animation. And then I want to test out the death too to make sure that works. And they do have a lot more health. And they packed a way bigger punch than the small ones did. So that showed there. So I think let's kill this one here. And actually, we have this now, so there we go. Might have to have another speed this up because I do want to test out the depth of loose condition from the previous one. Because I completely skipped over it. Okay, so there was my loose condition. And I can restart the level from there. Okay, so there is my loose condition. So let's go ahead and quit game real quick. Go back here and let's flip over to my Jira again. Okay. So they did have a mesh to distinguish them from other enemies. They're spiders. They did move around the playable space. I want to be able to attack the player's avatar when I'm next to the avatar. Of course they did. They have a health bar. They're only 1 health, but it does still show the health bar. 0'd out. I even got it with the Colossus ones too. They have a hit reaction. They have a death animation. And they have an attack animation. And when I'm attacked, my player is slowed. And the Colossus Spider do exist, engage, and attack the player avatar. They do significantly more damage, and as you can tell, they took more than 1 hit. So that is all the completion criteria for that one. I do want to flap back over and say I did hit this loose condition. Just at the end, I did let them kill me. I was dead, which actually checkmarked both stories, all the subtasks, everything. It just killed it all. And thank you for watching yet again. I am Daniel Fink, level designer and programmer for Team Ragamuffin. And I'm let it go to the next person.
Hello, my name is Steven Fedor, and I'm going to be doing a review on my level. This is for Team Ragamuffin, change list number 971860. So I'm going to open it up. I'll review the mechanic as well. Go to my level, turret hazard or projectile. So you notice that we start in a little area, just kind of keep the player safe from everything. Added some cosmetic things to it just to kind of make the level filled. Kill these guys real quick. Alright, so the turret, I placed it in here just kind of as an obstacle that the player can either avoid or not avoid, depending on the skill level. The first little level I placed in here, or the first turret I placed in here, is very slow, where you can avoid it fairly simply. You can see that it has a particle effect once it shoots. You can see that it hits me, and I have a particle effect as well. It does have a sound as well, where you can hear it when it shoots and when it hits the player. So what we'll do is we'll go to the next area, where you can see that the next area is a little bit more difficult. This is going to lead to the resting area where you can gather health. Gather health and some other items, some potions to protect yourself from any of the enemies. So health is almost all the way full. You're not able to leave or backtrack the area. You can go up here. You need a key. Ouch! I just got hit. As you can see, the player can get hit as well as the enemies. Ooh. So you can see up there that the enemies are getting hit. Next little rest area, a little challenge for the player to get through. More health. And you can see that the last turrets were going a lot faster. So up here you'll see that it's even faster than what it was in the last room. Not by much, but you can see that it's hitting the player, traversing all the way down. Crown is blocking this one. So, oh, I died. It was blocking it, the crown was hitting it. So we'll just kind of speed run through this to get through it. Once again, you can see the player and the enemies can get hit by the turret. Let me get some health to get through here. The enemies can traverse to each room. So they can come through. I just trapped those guys back there. So we'll just go through. Locks the player from going back to the previous level.
Hey, you with the face. Hey, you with the face. Hey, you with the face.
Just for a little extra puzzle, I made it to where you had to use these torches to get out. Ouch. Ouch. Oh, dang it. That's one thing I do need to fix, which I'll do on the next bug report. Alright, now super speedrun. I made this level kind of hard for the player, just because games are not meant to be super easy where you can just traverse and be like, hey, look, I'm at the end. So to win this, you have to actually complete that door puzzle and then get to the portal to be able to teleport you to the next area. I'm just gonna grab some of this health and some shields just to make sure that I don't die up there again. But yeah, just to make it a little bit more fun and, you know, a little bit challenging for the player.
Hey, with the face. Hey, you with the face. Hey, you with the face. Hey, you with the face.
You can see that these turrets are spread out to make it a little bit more challenging for the player. There's 2 in each room up here.
Hey, you with the face.
I really like the concept of having it multiple in one room, just because it just makes it challenging for the player, mainly. But this is what I was talking about. After you get to this section, this is the win condition. You have to unlock that door by lighting those torches to be able to get to the teleporter. And then that's my level. Thank you for watching.
Hello, my name is Lucas Guevara with Team Ragamuffin, and today I'm going to be showcasing my level and mechanic I made during the sprint. Going on over here to my screen, you're able to see inside of the Team Ragamuffin folder, we have our capstone build. The change list is going to be 971860, submitted by Nicholas Jackson. Give me 56 out of 56 on the change list, or on the amount of changes it's had. Going on over here, I'm going to turn down the music. I don't have any music in my level, and turning down sound effects volume so you're able to hear me. Going back, clicking on a level select brings us to all of our levels and a small description of what it is. Here I made a gold door system and a survival level. So you go through, have to kill all the enemies that you encounter in order to get gold. And that gold you then use to purchase doors in order to find your way through to the end. Coming through here, I'm going to start fighting immediately. All these guys. So each one of these drop a different amount of, or each enemy drops a different amount of gold. Each of the green or the mummy enemies, the melee enemies, will drop 1,000 gold each, and then the archer enemies will drop 1,500 gold each. So unfortunately, having some issues with the camera. That door is supposed to say cost 2,000 to enter. Actually, let's go ahead and show that. See, cost 2,000 to open.
Hey, you with the face.
Now the camera is still not functioning properly. Fine. We'll just go through and do this again. Grabbing that, each of them dropped 1,000 for me, and he drops 1,500. Breaking these again to see if I can get lucky and get a potion. I did not. Then I'm able to open the store for 2,000. Going through, picking up spare gold, some health. Some more spare gold. There's a vase here that has a chance of spawning a potion as well. Fortunately, did not get it. And then coming down into this room, avoiding these enemies. And it looks like I need to kill them in order to get through. I do not have enough gold. So going through, trying to buy this when you don't have enough.
Kill more.
It's my voice, so I'm going to stop talking. Oh, he doesn't care on that door.
This is not enough. Kill more.
I was pressing G, that's why he didn't care. So there you go, there's a sound effect plays that, or when you don't have enough gold, telling you to collect more, kill more enemies, etc. And come back when you are able to purchase it. So, now that I'm able to purchase it, I have 5,000. I can open the door. We'll go ahead and kill the rest of these guys here so that I can have some spare gold for future rooms. So you do have option and choice on which way to go. So here, immediately you are met by spikes. Let's see if this is the way forward. Oh, no, but enemies have spawned on me. Grab a level food so I don't take too much damage. And I'm able to leave. They can do all these traps without taking damage. Nice. Break these up. Nothing. Okay. Looks like there's some doors over there. I don't want to backtrack that much. Through here. Check out this. That is a lot of enemies. I'm not gonna deal with that. Oh, I have to deal with that, actually. This is something I have to deal with. Ah.
Hey, you with the face.
Got really lucky. I got so many potions right now.
Hey, you with the face.
Okay. Continue down the way we know is way progression. Grab that food, continue down, grab that food. Continue down on the left so we don't hit that middle spike strip. We know that that room is very dangerous, so we're just going to completely stay away from that. Go ahead and open this door. Make our way through. Leave the enemies in the dust. I do believe I might have to go and kill some of them, though. Destroy all those enemies. Should be able to... They're not all damaged. Oh, none of those guys were damaged. The ones that got damaged walked away. Okay. So then we're able to...
This is not leave and come back when you have more gold.
We have to kill more. We're not able to. Need gold. 4 more enemies. Okay. Alright, now let's make it out of here. Purchase that door. And we're able to make our way out. Just like that. So that is my level, the gold doors and gold drop system on the enemies. I'm gonna go ahead and pass it on to the next person.
Hi there, my name is Nicholas Jackson. I'm part of Team Ragamuffin, and I'm here to showcase the level prototype that I made on our build number 56, Changeless 971860. Let's go ahead and open that up real quick. Here's a fun little... So that's a fun little splash screen that I also added for our team this month. Just a little extra. I wanted to get like a little label in there. So I'm gonna start off real quick. I'm gonna turn off. I don't have any music in my level, so we don't need to worry about being able to hear it. Just want to turn some sound effects down. Just make sure they're not gonna overpower my audio. So yeah, so the level I worked on was our torch, let's alter doors level. So this is basically you have little torches that you'll need to light in order to unlock certain doors. Each door has a particular torch assigned to it. There's actually 4 torches assigned to it, and then there's a big altar door to get to the exit, and you can't get to the exit until you've gone through all the other little 4 areas and ignited the altars that are in there. So let's go ahead and just open this up, and we're going to go ahead and kind of get things started. So this is kind of the design I went with, was where you have to complete one path to be able to unlock the next one. Kind of for my typical, like, the refuge or rest area for the player, I made it this center section here. So that way you player gets a little bit of a break in between each room. There's also a tiny bit of a break when you get to where you're gonna ignite your altar. So this is that altar door I was talking about. So you can see I can't really pass through it. I can't interact with it to open it. So we're gonna have to light some altars that are gonna be at the end of all 4 of these paths. So let's go ahead and go to this first path. So you can see over here we got some enemies that are going to show up for us. I swung a little early there. So gonna do battle with them. And then the next thing we're going to have is you got these little torches that are around, and we have this door. So it looks kind of similar, but if you look up in the top right here where we can still see the other door, it's got little red kind of circles. Those are supposed to represent like red gems on it. And then this one's got black ones. So you have to activate all the correct torches to pass. So if you watch, when I activate, it actually goes, so the torches are kind of in the same design and order as on the door here. So that'll be my bottom left one. So you see that one, it turns red. It'll also, if I can turn this off, and it will turn that off as well. So that way, if you're just sitting here mashing the button and you accidentally turn it off, so like you'll see it goes down when they're all lit. If I unlight it, if I put that one out, it'll, hey, this message is here. Once I light this, you'll notice there's like a little ding sound indicating that, hey, if you got them all lit, that message is gone. It's not going to happen anymore. So that was kind of the main little idea I had, was I wanted the player to be more than just run through, kill enemies, door opens, or run through, kill enemies, attack to break a door or interact with a door. I wanted the player to have to find some stuff. You'll see a little bit later. I have some of them kind of more hidden. So you have to actually explore a little bit to find the actual torches. So here I'm going to pick up this little crown that'll give you bonus gold if you can make it all the way to the end of the game, or end of the level with it. Got a couple potions, got some health here I can pick up. So this is my altar. So this is what needs to be ignited. So we can, there's 4 of them, so that way we can open the main exit. So I'm going to interact with that. I'm going to play this little cutscene that I made. I thought it would be more fun just to kind of pan over, show it switching. So these ones, like, I can't turn on multiple times. I can't turn them off. They're a one-time activate. This little portal popped up because if we tried running back, going over here, you'll notice, oh, this gate's still here locking me in. So now I need to come back over here, go up into this portal, and that brings me back to my safe room. So if you notice, I had all the healing items, potions, and stuff inside where the altar was. So kind of after you go through some fights, that's where it counts as like a kind of almost like a precursor to your safe room. So like, hey, this room's safe. I got through this battle. Let me heal up. Now I can activate this, and then now I can continue on. If you wanted to be a real, I guess, hardened player, you could be like, no, I'm not going to heal or use anything. I'm just going to go from room to room. Because, like I said, you can't go back in. It locks you out. So this one's going to lock me as well. Like you see that is now officially one of those is lit. Again, it kind of matches the layout of my rooms, kind of match the layout of that. You notice that the one changed the green. Those eventually I wanted to change in the symbols. I just didn't have any like runic type symbols to use yet. But eventually, like those, text wouldn't say just 1, 2, 3, 4. But it's showing green, meaning it's completed. This one's yellow, which means it unlocked. It was open. Red means the other ones are locked. So as we go up here, we're gonna be introduced. We got an archer enemy now who shoots a projectile at us. Oh, I just lost my crown. So when you take damage, that crown will pop off of you. I'm gonna use my range attack on a couple of these guys. So this room, I decided, we have some extra torches here. We have these little traps, so these will damage you and knock you back if you run into them. So again, we got the same thing. We need to ignite all the torches. So one thing I kind of did here was, you notice there's a thing of gold next to 4 torches. That's kind of was leading the player like, hey, these are going to be the torches you need to light. Seeing if they pick up on that hint. Because if I light this one and I light this one, you notice nothing lights up over there. There's no negative at this point for lighting the wrong ones. That was definitely some feedback that I got in some playtests. So something I kind of want to eventually add is if you light the wrong torch, it would put out all the other torches and reset the door. So that was kind of a neat idea that I got from some feedback that I would like to add. So I'm gonna light this up. So as you can see, door plays. This time I had a little trap here, so if you step on it, play the spikes. Again, we got our kind of pre-refuge area where we got healing, some more potions, and then our next altar to activate. This one, gonna play the little cutscene as well, the little cinematic. And then that way I can go over here, enter my portal, and we're gonna go to the next area. This one's gonna introduce, this is a different enemy type. These are exploders. So when they get within a range of you or they take damage from the player, they'll set off a little timer and they'll eventually explode on you. So I also still got the archer in here. Use my tornado, knocks these guys back a little bit. So in this one you can see same kind of thing. I've got my torches. You notice there's more torches in here, but a lot of them don't do anything. This you need a key to be able to open. So I can ignite like this one here, come down. Again, I got gold next to the ones that it needs to be. You know, this time though, we got a little room. There's an explosive barrel here. We'll blow up this wall. So added some more little kind of traps in these rooms to avoid, just kind of add a little bit more to it. So there, I took one of my keys there. Come over here, activate that. You hear that little ding, and then this was going down. So we can go back up here, collect some gold. We're gonna play our next little cinematic. Going back and showing this last door is opened. Go here. So this, you can still see the bounds. It's not, that's still open for some testing on some stuff. But when I overlap with those bounds, there's going to be these little turrets that are going to start kind of shooting. So if you were to run down the center of the path trying to get the gold, as soon as you step in, like, that's gonna start shooting at you. So kind of just made this, since this is the last area, I want to make it a little bit more difficult to get through. So this can make it more difficult. Oops, I just stopped right there in front. And then you're gonna have a big room full of enemies. The door you heard was this one. This is a valve door. Kind of a valve / gate door that we use sometimes. So that one won't stop until this all these enemies, or it won't go down until all these enemies have been defeated. I'm just gonna pop my little shield here so I don't take damage. Kill a bunch of these guys. Pop another one. Drop one more tornado, should kill the last. Then after their bodies disappear. Let's see, alright. That's going down. Again, we got a torch here to ignite. Another torch to ignite. And those dead. It's more just to get in your way. You have these little spider enemies. Sometimes they'll crawl through the door there. So I'm going to blow up a couple of these. That'll showcase some more money. Or not money, but more food. And a couple more torches. And you see I got a torch door right here. So this way I can get back my potions I use, any health. And then get ready to start the next fight.
Hey, you with the face.
Those exploder guys, you see, they can take out and damage other enemies. I'm using my shift to block right now, so block some incoming damage.
Hey, you.
Those little spiders, if they hit you, they'll slow you. They slow like your walk speed, making it harder for you to get away from enemies. They're pretty weak. They only take like one. They're supposed to be little small enemies that are more annoying, so they only take one hit. Also got my dash here. I can do damage to enemies. So here's our final torch. We get our final cutscene here, going back, and that last one is opened. And there's a sound effect there that's kind of indicating that, hey, this is unlocked. You have all of them. Oop, gotta run around those guys. So these guys, especially with knocking you back, I put them in a combination. Just kind of increases the difficulty of traversing the level a little bit. So that way it kind of forces the player to play the, be a little bit smarter about their play. So now I'm at this final area. So I'm going to press F to open. That message now pops up for me since they're all lit. It's unlocked. You notice now the F for final is open. Lets me go in this area. And I can now exit, completing my win condition. The lose condition for the level, we're going to go back in to showcase that. So the lose condition is whenever I come up with like the game over screen. So you can start each level basically with 1 life, or the amount of lives you have if you're continuing through. So if I let these guys kill me real quick, out of habit I killed that other one, should have left him. You notice my lives in the top right are now 0. We have this little screen here for basically if you want to retry or not. So that was something we built in a previous milestone. That was, I think, our very first milestone we did. So again, now I'm gonna go through and let these guys all just kind of hit me, kill me real quick. You'll notice since I'm out of lives, I have an actual more of a game over screen. So unfortunately, I have to go back to the main menu. And then if I wanted to go back in there, you'll notice like when you continue from levels, like I still had potions and gold because I came back into here. Now I'm back, I'm set to 0, and I can start this level over again. And retry it. So that kind of shows off that lose condition there. Yeah, so hopefully kind of understanding like where I was coming from, trying to kind of make the player do more than just fight stuff and collect gold, like trying to make them like, hey, you need to interact with some stuff. You need to make some stuff turn on and able to unlock the door here. Just kind of gives you a little bit of a change of pace with the game. And so that's all I really got here for my section that I worked on. Hopefully it was enjoyable, and hopefully we can kind of build upon it and make some of the changes that I would like to do, like adjusting with having to get the right torches, otherwise it resets it, because I think that would be a lot of fun. Makes it a lot more of a puzzle that way. Maybe makes you pay attention a little bit more. Again, that's why I had the gold leading to it for those kind of like a leading line in a way, but more of like, hey, like there's something next to this one, so this is probably a torch you want to do. I also kind of like playing with the idea of laying the torches out in a pattern in the level, so it's like you start noticing the pattern and it kind of matches the door. But that was all the time I've got for this today, so thanks for stopping by, and I will kick this on over to Dawson and let him showcase his level.
Hi, this is Dawson Majors with from Team Ragamuffin. And today this is my sprint review for GSI. The build I'll be using is Ragamuffin underscore capstone.exe 56 out of 56 or change list number 971860. So let's hop right into it. So if we go over to the level select here, level 6 or Dawson Majors or pushable block level is the level that I'll be showcasing today. To start off with, I'll start off with this room in particular right here. So this is my start point room. I have small portions of gold that lead up straight to my mechanic. I wanted these small breadcrumbs to lead to this block here to kind of give the player an idea of what the mechanic might be. Now, to go over my mechanic, it is a interactable block that the player can push whenever they hold F and the movement key. The movement key of their choice. So, or not their choice, but the movement key. So if I press F, I can push with holding F and W. Now we're in the second portion of this room. The destructibles here are blocking the pathway of the player, and 2, the block. I intended for this because I wanted the player to be able to collect gold and possibly potions, because destructibles have a chance to drop gold and potions. Just to get them an early start on collecting gold for their level. So, as you can see here, there is a kind of dip in the ground, and there are blocks here. I intended for this as well. I wanted the player to kind of formulate an idea in their head with some information that, hey, this block needs to go down here on that pad to open this door. So if we go here and we hold F and then press it, we get up to this point here. A message plays, and then telling them to hold F to push it into place. As soon as it's pushed into place, the pressure pad goes down and the door unlocks. For my mechanic, or specifically for completion criteria for my mechanic, the pad can only work with a certain block and a certain door. So if I had any of these other blocks that were up and then that went onto this pad, it wouldn't work at all. It wouldn't unlock the door, and it wouldn't make the pad go down. So the pad only works with that specific cube and that specific door. Here's my first iteration or first portion of restroom, or rest hallway. I wanted to kind of keep with the gauntlet style because they usually don't have restrooms in their game. They have rest hallways that have collectibles, destructibles, and health. In my rest hallways, I have a line of gold or breadcrumbs for the player to follow, and some destructibles blocking the door so they can get a chance to get gold or potions from it. Whenever I walk through this door, go into the second portion of this hallway, a door will lock behind me. My reasoning for that is because I wanted gates and valves on my level to stop the player from traversing backwards and have them and force them to keep them going forward. So as you can see here, there's more breadcrumbs leading to where the player should go, and more destructibles blocking their way, so they have more of a chance to get gold and potions for encounters. Right here, the door also locks behind the player, so they can't go out, can't run away. So I have, for my second room, or my second portion of my level, I have a much larger room that's split in half by a wall and a gate. This block up here, up at the top, when pressed on the pad, unlocks this gate. And as you can see down there, there's an enemy. Or multiple enemies kind of standing on top of each other. You'll see here in a moment. I intended for this. I wanted the player to unlock this gate, and for the spaces to kind of be able to be combined and create a much larger combat space for the player to kite around enemies and give them a little reprieve for running away. Originally, my block was going to be intended as used for puzzles, but instead I used it as a kind of like gate/valve mechanic to keep with the gauntlet style theme of unlocking doors and facing combat encounters, as well as collecting gold and continuing to traverse through the level. So if we go up here, we can press F to push, and the D key to push this way, since the block is going this way. You heard the click and you heard the door open, so now the two spaces are combined. And we have enemies that we can kite around and run around this space. Or we can have them run around into this space and kind of kite them around in this space as well. I wanted this to happen so the player would just have enough room to run around if they decided they need to run away from enemies. And so they could just kind of make sure they have enough room to move out in general. So now whenever we kill all of the enemies, we can push this block on, and it'll work with this pressure pad and unlock this door. Which leads me to my second rest hallway or restroom. And it still has that same theme of a gold trail, breadcrumbs leading, and gate/valve door to lock the player from traversing back to the previous room, forcing them to go forward. Continue here, keep going to the gold. It leads me to the next room. I did the same design kind of iteration here as the other one. I intended for that as well. I like the feel of how blocking off certain portions of a room and then having it open with a door and having enemies being able to come after you through that and you being able to run through that increased combat space just feels better in my opinion. So we can see here, we can break destructibles. Plenty of destructibles for the player to collect gold and for them to keep at pace with the game or keep entertained. Now, there to my left right here, there's another room that is blocked off by destructible walls, and right here is an explosive barrel. I hit the explosive barrel, the wall will explode, and we'll have spider enemies chasing us. As you can see, the spiders are getting through the door a little bit. But if we come here, into this room, it has gold for the player and health to help the player out. Now we're pushing this over here to this block right here. Kind of having a lot of enemies start chasing us, and then we can kite them around through here and have the exploder enemies kill them. Now, I also intended for this right here was for destructibles to also just kind of block so the player, just in case they used a lot of potions or had a lot of gold or want more gold, so it can keep them entertained and keep them doing something different other than just pushing blocks and killing enemies. Push this block down here, it'll unlock that top door whenever it gets onto the pad. See? It's on the pad, and this door's unlocked. Now we come up to another side room on our right, and a door that's locked right here. So pretty much doing the same thing, destroying the barrel, unlocking the room, creating a much larger kind of combat space, and having the enemies be able to follow, so the player is able to kite them around easier. So the player is able to kite them around easier into a much larger combat space. You can see here, through killing them, I also help give the player gold and more health to prepare for the next room. Push this on there, it opens the door. And this leads me to my third and final restroom before my final room. I'm still going with that same thing of no enemies and a breadcrumb trail for the player to follow so they know where to go. As well as the lockable door so they don't go back into the previous area. Go right here. It opens up to this room. My whole design for this room kind of changed multiple times. So instead of including enemies, I wanted them to... including enemies to fight around, enemies to fight. I wanted to include hazards into it so they wouldn't have to just, kill enemy AI, but they would instead have to avoid traps as well. So it could change up the type of style that the person has to do, or what they have to do in order to succeed on pushing this block to where it needs to go. Continue going through here. There's plenty enough room for the player to completely move around and make sure, but if they end up pushing it too far or too close to another hazard, the player has less room to move. I really intended for this so that it would feel a little bit more claustrophobic if they messed up and pushed it into the wrong kind of space or too close to a hazard, and they'd have to get the right portion or the right amount of space in between that hazard and them so they could push the block. So like right here, the blade is like so close to hitting the player, but it's not. It's not. There's just enough room for the player to get over here and push the block. Keep going through here. We triggered these spikes, and it's just barely enough room for the player to go right here as well and push the block too, because the blade is just barely out of reach of the player. Go right here, and that pad and that block unlock that back door right there. So if I go here, I finally reward them with the end of my level with gold. And if they kept the crown, they also get a gold bonus. This is my win condition, which is make it to the end of the level and get through the portal. To demonstrate my loss condition, I can go over here and do a small replay through my level and get to a point where the player can die. So for the loss condition there's kind of two types of loss conditions. There's there's one. If you run out of lives, the game ends and you have to completely just restart through the game or restart through the level. Now, if you die as well, go 0 out of 96, like 0 out of 96 health, then you also restart the level. But if you run out of lives, then the player has to just completely restart the game. Let's go here, let the mummies attack me. The player dies. And this pops up, and you went from 1 life to 0 out of 0. And you can say give it another chance, or you can say quit. So I'm going to give it another chance here. Going to re-get back to that portion where the mummies are. If we get here, we see we're 0 out of 0 lives, and if we die here, then we just lose the game overall. And we can't restart from the level. So, you just have to go back now and go to level select and then choose again, and you start off fresh. So overall, my rooms have a process to them that I feel like kind of fit the iteration for this mechanic pretty well. Um, my original design was for the mechanic to be used as a puzzle mechanic, but instead I changed it to kind of keep it up with the one-to-one style that I thought was right, and went with the kind of gates and valves route with this, and made it in my own way, and design in that iteration in that design. So this was Dawson Majors on Team Ragamuffin, and thank you.
Get this down a little bit. You can hear me? Hi, my name is Izzy Wilson, and this is the showcase video for my Wheel of Death level and my Wave Spinner mechanic. Let's get into my level. Okay, first I'm going to talk about a little bit about the beginning of this level design. I didn't go into this very much in depth. All I wanted was basically for you to walk down a hallway, get locked into a room of some type. You can see you got locked on both sides, and have your only thing to do be this little spinner right here. Eventually come to it. Oh, there's a little message pops up. Give it a spin. And it should spawn a wave of enemies. So this one will be the spiders, and it spawns a spider every 2 seconds for 30 seconds. And I found that my favorite strategy for this is to just round them up for about 30 seconds and then hit them with an alt attack. Because while they don't do much damage, they do a lot of damage in a horde. So let me lasso them up real quick. Look at some of them. Yep, and it's about time for my ult to be recharged. There we go. Right. And as you can see, we have one more left. But as soon as it despawns, you can kind of see it despawn right there. Oh, sorry. Now we are able to spin our spawner again, and it landed on another one, so we'll have to do this one more time. That was fun. As you can see, Right, now this is our mummy enemy, which is not nearly as fun as the spider, being that they actually fight back, and a little bit tougher. As you can see, if it lands on a 1, it corresponds with the spider, and if it lands on a 2, it corresponds with the mummy. And I'll keep going until I showcase what it lands on for a 3. Give a little AoE. Oh my goodness, there are many of them. Oh, I got a lot of them. because combat is something we're kind of still working on as a team, I personally have found that keeping my distance and using ranged attack has proven most beneficial in attacking hordes of these enemies specifically. Don't know why I got stuck in there. As you can see, I could only spin it after my last enemy had died. I'm gonna go in here one more time and see if I can get one of the last enemy types to respawn. Okay.
Hey, you with the face.
These are some of the exploder enemies, so if you go a little bit near them,
Hey, you with the face. 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 Hey, you with the face.
you know, ideally for the exploder enemy, I would have it in more of a close combat situation, so maybe like a smaller room, but this level is solely for the intent of showcasing this mechanic, so I didn't focus too hard on keeping the enemies in a controlled environment. I more just wanted to showcase that, hey, I have waves of enemies that are spawning, and it's working properly. These ones are the worst. Range is not nearly as effective with them because they're so fast. Here we go. And eventually, after a couple of enemy waves, a key will spawn so that we can reach the end of the level and access our win condition. As you can see, the key has spawned, but all the enemies kind of want to be in that area, so I'm not really safe to get it yet. We can get that key. And now we've gotten to some loot here. Got some health. I can finally not be on the verge of death. Got a little crown. Helps us identify a win condition. And the end of the level, which is the overall win condition. Basically, for this level, I kind of just wanted to create a different type of combat encounter than what we would normally see in a game like the one we tried to recreate when we were doing our 1-to-1, which was Gauntlet. I thought it would be cool to introduce some type of random element into it, so you don't know what you're gonna get immediately, and you have to adapt your combat style depending on the type of enemy that is spawned in its wave. And what I wanted was, after a certain amount of waves, that you would get a key dropped, or just a way to open this door eventually to access your win condition. So you can't just walk all the way through the level. You have to actually interact with it first, and as you can see, you can't go backwards. So I definitely succeeded in that part. But yeah. Okay, this was the wave spinner mechanic and my Wheel of Death level showcase. Thanks so much for watching.